All right, we're gonna give a little bit of time. I'm waiting on our guest speaker. I don't see her on here quite as yet. Nope, not yet. Still not yet. We have Rashauna. Rashauna is going to get on here in a little bit. Let me see. Let me try to text her.
So Tommy, can I say something real quick?
Go ahead, man.
I just want to tell the group, don't sleep on the past meetings, because I got into the group a little bit late, and you're recording all these, and I did not know all those other recordings were there. And when I went back and started, watching the old videos, there was just a ton of information that was answering the questions that I've been having. And so if you're new to the group, please don't forget to go back and watch the previous meetings, Wednesday and Sunday night meetings, because all you have to do is copy and paste them in the link, and then you can get all those questions answered, and it may help you from getting unstuck.
Yeah, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, it's definitely a big bonus. It's over, I don't even know. I know it's well over 100+ hours on there of previous material. And it's adding up. It's adding up. I'm trying to standardize this thing where we dump like 1 or 2 weeks worth of footage on there at a time, so it doesn't take up too much of my time. I'm still looking for our guest speaker, Rashauna. I don't see her. Rashauna is going to be getting on here talking about raising capital. Let me give her a quick call.
Mommy, hello? 11 minus 5 equals 13.
Oh, Maxine, I think you came off mute there. I thought I saw. Let me call her real quick. All right, I think Rashauna is on now. Let me see where. I was just on the phone with her. She said she was on. I'm looking for her name. As people are coming on, it's pushing her around, so I can't find her. Rashauna, if you can go ahead and take yourself off mute.
Hey.
Oh, there we go.
How are you?
We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but that's all right. We're here now. And man, number one, appreciate you taking your time out to get on here. Just real quick, before we get into this thing, Rashauna, number one, is phenomenal, right? So you just need to know that. We met at the BYOB conference. We spoke like maybe a week or so before then. But the BYOB, which is not what you think. It's build your own brand, not bring your own beer. All right, build your own brand by Drew Nguyen. I think it's how you say that.
Guyan, I think.
Is that how you say that? I never can get that right.
The N is silent.
Oh, that's the secret. How come nobody told me that all these years? I've been calling these people the wrong name all these years. All right, so Guyan, yeah, he's a phenomenal marketer and brand builder. But we were able to speak on the same stage. I was able to share the same stage with Rashauna and just inspire some people and kind of talking about real estate and, a mix between what I do and what she does. She does something completely different. So this is stuff that I like to bring to you guys because I'm definitely by far the best investor. I'm not the best investor in the world. There's a lot of people that have a lot more knowledge than me, right? And there's a lot of people that have specific knowledge. And I like to bring the people with the specific knowledge to you guys. You guys have all heard the term, don't be the smartest person in the room, right? Well, that's because if you're the smartest person in your room, you're no longer learning. So just like you, I'm going to take notes today. I'm going to be paying attention to what Ms. Scott has to offer. And then we're going to get right into it. So without further ado, Ms. Rashauna Scott, please take it away.
Oh, hey, everybody. So it looks like everybody's waving. Okay, because you guys are on mute. Okay, cool. All right, so thank you so much for having me on, Tommy. I am so excited to be here tonight. I don't know if you told them, my light is gonna kind of go in and out, so don't mind that. I don't know if you shared with them what I was gonna be talking about tonight.
Just I'm gonna kind of leave it up to you, but I know you're an expert in raising capital. So
I am. Okay, cool. So that's what we're gonna be talking about tonight. So we got some feedback. You hear it?
yeah, I'm here. Yeah, I'm here.
Let's say, do you hear it?
Yeah, is your phone on?
Yeah, that's I think it's whoever this is that's in the car.
Let me mute everybody and then
Yeah, you.
My bad.
Like, oh me.
there you go.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'm back. So yes, we're gonna talk about that tonight. So let me go ahead and share my screen.
I think I'm gonna try lock meeting. I don't know if that locks people out, but I'm gonna try.
It's okay. No, it should be fine.
Okay.
Yeah. If it happens again, we'll just, do the same thing, I guess. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Yep, I can see it.
Cool. All right. So we are going to go ahead and get started. Do not mind all of the 50 million tabs that I have open. I just, got a lot going on. But anywho, so, yep, we are going to go ahead and get started. A little bit about me. My name is Rashauna Scott. Born and raised on the south side of Chicago. I am currently located in Chicago. I first got started in investing. My first love for even just being an entrepreneur came when I was probably about 16 in high school, and I was at a career day, or I might have been 15, something like that. And I was at a career day, and I remember there was a guy who came out to my high school. I was a sophomore in high school, and he said, he worked for AT&T. He was a manager at AT&T, and he said, even though I am a manager at AT&T, I do not depend on AT&T to provide for me and my family. He also, at that point, mentioned that he owned 400 vending machines across the city of Chicago. And I was like, okay, wow. So he explained, what it costs to fill them up and what it costs to maintain them and what he made when they were finished, when it sold out. And I was like, wow, okay, so that's pretty cool. I don't want, a job to take care of me and my family the rest of my life either. So fast forward a little bit, started learning about real estate, read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, like I'm sure many of you did. So I did that at an early age. Also got a mentor at an early age. And at that time, I was 19. I incorporated my first real estate investment company, and I built up a $20,000 business line of credit. Well, even though I did that at 19, the crazy thing is, even though I had a mentor can only take you as far as you are. I mean, as far as they are, right? Like unfortunately, they can't really take you past that. So I built up this $20,000 business line of credit, and then I was like, now what? And I didn't have any help or anything from there. And so from then, it was like, okay, it was a lot of trying and figuring it out. I got my license in 2013. I did leases here in Chicago. And from there, it was pretty much, did she say 19? Yeah, I deal with it. Yeah. And so from there, I did leases for about a year, and I did not make a lot of money. I was working full time, and I was in school full time. I was working overnight and going to school during the day and doing real estate on the side. And I was like, okay, I'm not making any money doing this leasing thing. So then I went and spent $15,000 on real estate investing education with one of those guru programs. And I did that for 2 years. And they told me, all you got to do is show up and be consistent, right? They were like, don't come in here trying to make $1 million on, your first deal or your first time in here. So literally, I showed up. I was going to the events. I was volunteering. I was doing everything for 2 years. I did everything. I took my courses, and I was like, hey, I've been volunteering. I've been showing up at the events. I got money in the bank, and I got my credit saved. And I was like, now what? And I looked around, and it was like crickets. And I was like, man, well, this sucks. Because now I'm 22, 23, 24, and I've spent these thousands of dollars, into this educational platform, and I still haven't figured it out. So all of this time, all these years were like a lot of me figuring it out. It was a lot of trial and error. So you guys are so blessed to have programs like this, people such as Tommy, who's bringing it to you for 10 times less than what we paid, you know, when we first got started, right? So, I mean, that's just, and I hate to be one of those people, like, I'm definitely going to dive in and give you guys strategy. I'm definitely not one of those people who I just tell you about my story the whole time, right? No, I'm gonna actually give you guys that too, strategy. But I wanted to kind of just give you that, so you know, first of all, who he is bringing in front of you, for one, and for two, so you guys know, like, I've been out here, like, I'm 27 now, and again, I first started, so I'm almost like a decade in, pretty much, you know. But and I'm going on 28. But anyway. So after that program, I found my very first investment. I think I was like 24, and someone allowed me the opportunity to invest in a flip project. And at that time, the minimum investment was $5,000, and I was a broke college student. I was like, look, I really want to learn about investing, but all I got is $2,500. And someone allowed me the opportunity to invest in their project at only using $2,500, and that was my very first investment. But I didn't realize how amazing it would feel. Like a year later, I got my original investment back plus my interest, which was only like $375, but I didn't have to do anything, right? I wrote a check and literally my money came back to me plus interest. And I was like, wow, this feels amazing. One. Two, I also was like, man, this is a great opportunity for me to, what we call it today, because we coined it on a podcast interview that I did. What I didn't realize what I was doing was quote unquote mentor hacking, right? Because now someone allowed me the opportunity to be involved in their project. Even though I only invested $2,500, they want to make me happy. I'm an investor. They want me to keep coming back. So they allowed me the opportunity to show up at the project, ask questions, right? I want to learn, what does it mean? What does this mean? What does that mean? What does this mean? And they told me, you know, I could be involved in a project if I wanted to, because I'm an investor, right? Even though I didn't have $100,000 or $200,000 to take on a project by myself, I still was a part of that project. So I say all that to say, yes. So today I raised private capital for my investment. And so funny that it's full circle, because I didn't know that's what I would be doing. But being able to be on both sides of the coin, right? I was an investor first, where I invested into the project. And now I manage my own rehabs with my team, where literally we raise money and I don't have any of my own money into the deals. And then I'm able to, you know, invest using other people's money. So if you guys are ready, I just want to make sure that I did not put you to sleep. If you can comment in the chat to let us know that you are with us, we will go ahead and get started. So, as I mentioned, so I am a licensed real estate agent here in Chicago. I am on social media at hashtag The Investors Realtor. I'm also the founder of Flipping the Hills, which is a community for women who want to learn about investing in real estate. And then obviously I mentioned this is my experience. You know, have some experience in private investing, tax lien investing, fix and flips, wholesaling, and currently doing fix and flip investing and transitioning into buy and holds.
Nice.
So the very first thing that you need to do is figure out the type of investor that you are going to be. A lot of you guys are in here because you're attracted to obviously wholesaling properties, but there's many different ways that you can invest, right? So you can flip properties, you can be a wholesaler, you can be a landlord, or you can actually be a private investor. So I mentioned that was my very first way of getting started. A lot of people don't know that that's a private investing stream that you can do. Literally, you can invest in somebody else's project and you can go on about your business. Okay. So a lot of people don't realize that those are, you know, that is even an option. So, obviously, you know, you guys already know what this is, but this is just going into detail. All of you, I'm sure, know what wholesaling is, flipping, buying and holding, and private investing. The other thing, too, is a lot of people inbox me and they say, hey, I want to get started in real estate. What should I do? And I tell people, I can't tell you what type of business that you should run. Right? I can't take, that's like you saying, hey, Rashauna, I want to start a business. What should I do? I'm like, girl, you should go sell hair. You're going to be like, nah, you know, I rock a fade. Like, I don't even wear hair, right? Like, it won't make sense. So for you, you need to figure out what matches your personality. If you're not a people person, you probably shouldn't be a landlord, right? If you don't like people, or if you don't have a high tolerance level, then you probably shouldn't be out here trying to flip properties, because literally you can open up a wall and you can have a $5,000 plumbing problem under that foundation. Believe me, I know it because I've been through it. So again, figuring out that. But these are the 4 types. And what we're going to talk about a little bit deeper on today is getting you to understand and think that, yes, you can be a private investor, but you can also raise money as well. So while you guys are wholesaling and making a lot of money through wholesaling, you can also be obviously transitioning that money into other avenues, right? So maybe you do want to get into flipping, or maybe you do want to get into holding, because I don't know where a lot of you guys are from, but like in Chicago and the whole state of Illinois, they just changed the laws. So if a lot of you guys are wholesaling, yes, it's a great wealth building, or I should say income generating tool. But in order to build long-term wealth and generational wealth, it's about what you hold, right? And it's about having assets that accumulate and creating that cash flow. And so with that being said, I don't know if you guys heard, but like in the entire state of Illinois, they just changed the law so where you have to be licensed in order to wholesale. And so do you know how many people's businesses actually stop, right? So again, with that being said, yes, wholesale, get your money up and then figure out what you're going to do next. So raising money is easier than you think. So we're going to go ahead and roll into 4 tips to raising private money for those projects that you guys are going to turn around and do. Again, whether that is being a landlord, holding property, flipping a property, whatever you want to do. So number 1 is knowing the different ways in which you can invest. So if I said, hey, Tommy, I want you to invest in this project with me, what are some of the different ways that you can invest in a project with me? And you guys type it in the comments and tell me what you think are some different ways that you can invest with me.
Either through with capital, with
Yep.
With sweat equity, maybe project managing,
Okay.
putting the deal together with other individuals. Are you asking me, or are you just asking me?
I'm asking you, but
Okay.
they're typing in the comments, so.
Okay, cool. So putting the deal together with other investors, like connecting with another investor. I've made some money off of doing that before. Another way that I can invest with you. I don't know.
Let's see what they got in the comments. So someone said marketing, time equity, research, boots on the ground. What about credit? Credit, you guys,
okay.
So credit. So obviously you can use your cash, and that credit can be personal credit or business credit, right? I couldn't type it fast enough. Okay. Credit. And what about a retirement account? Did you guys know that you can invest using your retirement account?
Yep. So 401ks, yep, gotcha.
Yep. So your 401k, your self-directed IRA. So those are the different ways in which you can invest. And it's important for you to know that, because as someone, for you to raise capital, obviously you need to know the different ways that people can invest with you, because most people don't know, right? How many people on here before today, you knew you could invest with your retirement account, Roth IRA, a traditional IRA, or a 401k. Most people don't know that. And you can actually take that and roll it over into what is called a self-directed IRA, and you can invest in real estate tax-free or tax-deferred. One of my favorite companies to do these types of transactions is Midland IRA. So I don't have them in the slide, but somebody can type that in the chat. Is Midland, MIDLANDIRA. And what they will do is they will allow you to set up a true self-directed IRA. And I say true self-directed IRA, I say true because I created a IRA with one of these companies. I don't say it when I'm on stage, but I'll say it since we're in a group. It was like Merrill Lynch, or one of those big name companies, right? And they have a self-directed IRA, but they call it self-directed because you can self-choose your own stocks that which you can invest in, but you can't invest in anything else except for stocks. So a true self-directed IRA allows you to invest in anything except for insurance or collectibles. So this includes real estate, where you can roll your funds into a true self-directed IRA, and you can allow your money to invest for you, and it can grow tax-free or tax-deferred. Okay, everybody with me? Cool.
Got it.
So again, knowing in different ways, because when you're having a conversation with people and you talk about raising money, you need to also be in a position to where you can educate them. Because what are they going to turn around and say? Oh, really? I didn't know I could invest with my retirement account. I got $50,000 just sitting there that I didn't even know, you know? So you need to have those conversations, for one. For two, knowing that people can get access to 0% interest lines of credit or credit cards, right? So whether that's personal credit or business, we prefer for it to be business. But if you have a 700 credit score, you can personal guarantee your business credit, right? I don't know how many of you knew that, but you can do that at 0% interest for like 12 to 18 months. So if you turn around and you're having a conversation with the investor, and you say, hey, Mr. Investor, you know, I know you want to invest in real estate. You can actually invest in this project with me. You know, the rehab is about $30,000. Why don't you go ahead? Do you have a 720 credit score or a 700? Oh, okay. Well, why don't you go ahead and get apply for this business credit, and you can get that at 0% interest that would allow you to invest in my money. So now, not only am I using other people's money, but they're using other people's money as well. Yeah, when I figured this out, I was like, you mean to tell me all I had to do was have a 700 credit score and I could have got access to 30, 50, $100,000 in my business? Anyway, so knowing that, all right, next step is 2, and 2 and 3 kind of go hand in hand. So building up your credibility. So whether you are wholesaling, whether you're doing rentals, I don't care, whether you have one investment property, I don't care what it is, you need to, everybody and their mama need to know what you do. They need to know that you are in real estate, that this is your business, that you are taking this serious, right? Because nobody wants to invest with somebody who's not for real, right? Nobody wants to give 30, 40, 50. You guys know the majority of my investors, I don't even meet. I've never even met them. They see what I'm doing on social media. They see that I'm real. They see that I'm at these properties all the time. And they're like, hey, they slide in the DMs and they like, I want to invest $50,000 with you. And I've never met them before. And if you'd have told me 2 years ago that this would be happening, I'm like, yeah, right.
Rashauna, let me stop you real quick, because I tell our group here all the time about keeping your social media clean. Like, social media no longer is for fun anymore. It's no longer for fun. Like every post is for a reason. And so you got people you're telling me that people don't know you, see you on Instagram, see you on Facebook, and slide in your DM and say, here's 50K, invest with me.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Man. All right, go ahead. I'm sorry. I just had to make sure that's clear.
God is good.
All the time.
And so, my last investor, he lives in Florida. And he actually has 200,000 to 300,000, but the 50,000 is a test. So he put 50 in a first investment to see how I do with that. And then once we finish up that project, pay him off, then he's ready to turn around and do a bigger investment.
Wow.
Okay. So yes. So in regards to that, just be for real out here in these streets. All right. So like I said, 2 and 3 kind of go hand in hand, host events, right? So again, I don't care if you own a 2-unit or a 4-unit or whatever. Let's say you do own a building and it's just a 2-unit. Man, when one of your tenants move out, you better have an event over there. Like, host events, right? Again, that is your social proof. That is your social validation. That means everything. Because people like to invest with what they can see, what they can feel, what they can touch, what they can breathe, right? So, and maybe you don't have a property just yet. Maybe you have a partner or someone that you're going to work with, somebody else who you know doing deals, one of your investors who you wholesale one of those properties to, like one of your cash buyers, somebody that you have relationship with. But when people see you out here moving around in these streets and they know you are the real deal in regards to real estate, like, you need to show up and you need to be doing that. So that is a part of building your credibility. Again, we talked about social media, hosting events. I don't care if it's a property tour. I don't care if it's an event, just talking about whatever, right? Because you never know. Some of your $30,000 investors will actually show up to these events,
Hey, Rashauna, someone asked, I think it was Ramona asked, who would you bring to the event? So if you don't have a large following and you want to, you got to understand, first of all, understand that that doing this is like your commercial, right? It's like your commercial. The people in commercials, they're actors. They're paid to be there, right? I'm not saying go and pay people to be there, but you probably have some family members that say, hey, can you come by my property just so you can have the opportunity to film some things with some people in the room.
Content.
Just get content. And then if there's not a lot of people, make it so that they can just barely see a couple people's shoulder and just you, right? There's ways to set the camera. I'm just being real with you, right? Because it's the perception. You know what you're doing. It's the perception that you're bigger than what you really are. And then if you know what you're doing, right? If you know what you're doing, you shouldn't have any trouble at least setting something like that up and then projecting that out to the world.
And then I would also say too, if you're going to have an event where you invite people who are interested in investing or interested in real estate, also invite the professionals who are going to benefit from being there, right? So I'm going to have a real estate attorney there. I'm going to have a lender there. I'm going to have a loan officer. I'm going to have this. I'm going to have a hard money lender. You know, the people are more than likely, those professionals are more than likely going to come because they want the business. And then you can also market that. Right? Come to my event. This person, and this person is going to be there. So I hope that helped answer your question. And again, put it out on social media. Or you can even engage your audience, right? Maybe, like I say, maybe you don't have a big following. Maybe you send it out a text to, your closest friends and family who would be interested in this type of event if I put one together. And I ain't even talking about an expensive event. I'm talking about, even like I said, at your house, at an investment property, at somebody else's property, you can do a presentation or you can just do a meet and greet. There's so many different ways that you can do it. You buy a veggie tray, you buy a fruit tray, you buy some bottles of water, plates, napkins, and some hand sanitizer. That's all you need for an event. I'm telling you, don't make it harder than what it is. Okay. But that was good. Please continue to ask your questions as you guys have them. All right. So number 4, this is probably like the key. All right. The biggest gem that I can share with you is to be sure to present your opportunity as their opportunity. So if you guys remember when I was sharing my story at the very beginning, I said someone allowed me the opportunity to invest in their project. I don't know if you guys caught that or not, but it was an opportunity because I so desperately wanted to get into real estate, but I knew damn well I didn't know where to start. I had just got screwed out of all this money. I had this passion and this drive and this hunger to get it done, but I didn't have $100,000 to go and do a deal on my own. And I was like, someone opened up the opportunity to invest with them and the minimum was $5,000 and all I had was $2,500, but I was like, please let me be a part of it. And so on today, my investors are grateful to me. I got the receipts. Okay. I can show you, they are saying, thank you for letting me invest in a project with you. When in hindsight, I'm really saying thank you. Right? I'm really saying thank you, but you have to present it to them as if it's an opportunity because it is. I'm not saying, do the bait and switch, but no, real talk, it is. Because most people want to get involved in who knows somebody that want to get in real estate? Everybody, yeah. Right? Yeah. We all know somebody who wants to get involved in real estate. And if you don't have to be the expert out here, but if you're just that much further than they are, then you have something that they want. Right? Because again, they can see you out here going to these properties, going on these appointments, you at these events, and eventually they're going to want to catch up with you. They're going to say, hey, I see you moving and shaking, I want to invest with you. And again, it's an opportunity. And so for me, I let people know, hey, the minimum to invest with me is $10,000. And this is the percentage that I pay out. I pay out a 10% return in 6 months on short term. If it's longer than that, then it's a larger percentage. And I tell people that, and I break it down to them just like that because it is an opportunity. And I tell people, hey, well, yes, I could turn around and pay you more, but I can go and get that same money from the bank at the same, the bank is charging me 9.5%. So you guys, you get what I'm saying? It's like, again, you have to present it as it's an opportunity because yes, I can go and borrow this same money from the bank. Like you almost have to have that attitude as well. Like, hey, I would like to use your money, but I ain't got to use your money because I can go and get it. The bank is lending. I can go and get money from the bank. However, instead of paying interest to the bank, I'd rather pay it to my community. And that's real. And when I explain that to people, because I know, you're not getting 20% annually anywhere, most places, right? So if I'm paying out 10% in 6 months or less, and you're in and out of a project with me twice, then you just made a 20%, return on your investment in a year. And the stock market, you can't depend on that, right? So I start spitting these facts. And again, I'm allowing people, this is helping people see that this is an opportunity to invest with me.
Absolutely.
Any questions?
Nothing in the chat right now, I don't think.
Cool. Okay. All right. So the next thing is be prepared. Oh, we got a question.
No, it just says take your notes. I got you on the chat.
Okay. Oh, thank you. They like, we here. All right. So the next thing is be prepared to answer frequently asked questions. So when people ask you, what's your minimum investment? Don't be stuttering. You need to know. Because if you are unsure, then they're going to be unsure about investing with you. So what is your minimum investment? What is the return? Know that. Know what makes sense for your market. Again, that's how much I borrow money from the bank at, 9.5%, 10%. So that's what I'm going to turn around and pay to my investors. And they actually get more than what the bank would get, because if I'm at a 9.5% annually with the bank and I'm paying you 10% every 6 months, who actually ends up coming out on top, right? But the thing about it is that I know my market and I know my deal. So for me, like in regards to flipping, I have to make at least a 30% margin in order for the deal to make sense. And with a 30% margin, let's say on average, my deals are costing me anywhere from, let's say 110 to 130. Yeah, so let's say like 110. I'm thinking of the past deals. So let's say 110 to 130 is like the sweet spot on average. And the ARV on those can be anywhere from 185 up to 215, right? But again, I have a 30% margin that's built into that where I know that, okay, if I get this money from a private money lender or from a hard money lender, once I calculate in the fees, once I calculate in what I owe people to my investors and stuff like that, like I can pay out on a 10% return and still make a profit and still make my minimum 30% that I need to make on the profit. I mean, on the, ARV, on the after repair value on the property in order for it to make sense to me. So it may be different in your market, but just know what that number is. Just know what that number has to be in order for it to make sense. Okay. Did a question come in or we good?
We're gonna answer questions in the end. That way you can kind of stay in the rhythm.
Okay. Well, I don't mind stopping in.
But because I know we're gonna run out of time here.
Okay. All right. Let me hurry up. What's the worst that can happen? So be prepared to answer that question because everybody is going to ask it. So what is the worst that can happen? And before they even ask it, let them know. I know what you're thinking. What's the worst that can happen? So I let people know, the house could burn down, but we have insurance for that, for one. And for two, time, really. Like that's what we're going up against in regards to investing in real estate is time, right? We may have a delay on the permits. We may have a delay dealing with contractors. We may have a delay ordering material. We have, all that. We may have a delay selling it, right? I mean, really, that's the biggest factor I would say in regards to investing is time. When you are dealing with, quality contractors and quality crew and quality professionals, a quality team, when you're dealing with all of that, I mean, really the only thing you can't guarantee is time. So that's, one thing I would say is that, right? So that's how I answer what's the worst that can happen. So I kind of start off with that. I say, well, it can burn down, and we kind of joke about that. But I say we have insurance for that, that'll pay us out on that. And then the other thing is time. So, and how am I protected? So if you guys want, what I'll do is I will share the exact agreement that I use with Tommy. And, if you guys want it, you can get it from him. But I use a promissory note to protect people's investments and our agreement. And pretty much what a promissory note is just a promise to pay. That's literally all it says. It is a promise to pay. And you need to know that, and you need to know how to explain that. And it's literally like a 2 to 3 page document. You can read through it. It is not difficult to understand at all. But you need to understand what it is you're asking people to sign. So again, that's it. It is a promise to pay. It's just as good as you writing down on a napkin, Tommy, I promise to pay you $5,000. That's a promissory note. Now, some people are comfortable with just a promissory note, because if they're investing 5, 10, 15, 20, really anything, mostly what I've seen, anything less than 50, most people are okay with really just a promissory note, or like, let's say less than 30. They're okay with just a promissory note. Some of your more educated individuals may say, well, wait a minute, my investment isn't tied to anything. What if something happens and I need to come after you? I need to sue you. Then I let them know, well, you can take out a second mortgage on a property, because more than likely I'm going to have a first lender who's going to be my hard money lender, for one, or for two, you can finance the entire deal and you can have first mortgage on the property. Does everybody understand that? So just how you buy your house from the bank, I use a hard money loan to finance my deals. So they have first lien position, right? Just like if your bank is going to foreclose on you, they own the house. They can come and they can take the house back. Same thing with my hard money lender. They finance 90% of the purchase and 100% of the rehab. So I bring in a private investor for my down payment and my holding costs. So I'm usually need anywhere from 30 to 50 grand per deal. And that's what I bring in the investor for that down payment and that holding costs. And holding costs is how much the project is going to cost you to run on a monthly basis for about 12 months or so. Sorry, I mean to go off on a little tangent there, but I just wanted you guys to understand the breakdown on what that is. So if the investor asks, how am I protected? You let them know that you can, if you are going to finance the entire project, you can take out a first mortgage on it, a first lien position, or if I already have a hard money lender on it and I'm bringing you on to just front some of the deal, then you can take out a second mortgage on it. I will provide the paperwork, but you have to pay to record it, okay? Because that is something that I provide. However, that is a legal document that has to be recorded with the county, all right? And that's that, right? Like literally, that's that. That's probably, that question right there, how am I protected? That's where you have to be the most confident. That's where you have to be the most sincere, the most authentic, right? Because people are investing their hard-earned dollars with you. And they want to make sure that you are going to be a good steward of their investment. And I mean, again, we're in business to stay in business, right? But we're not in business to take advantage of nobody. So you want to really explain to them the process of investing with you, what that looks like, and what's the worst that can happen, right? I take that very serious, because I lost money. I lost $30,000 on a deal.
I lost money too. So let me ask you. So let's just do a quick role play real quick, if you don't mind. Like if I'm asking you, I know you mentioned, the house can burn down, but like you said, it has insurance. So for me, the worst thing is that, the project doesn't yield what it was projected to yield, right? Or like you said, problems with the city of permitting. So how do you answer that question when it comes down to like, well, what happens if it doesn't make any money? The worst thing that can happen to me is I lose all my money.
No, absolutely not. The worst thing that happens is if the project doesn't sell, right? Mm-hmm. Is that what you're saying? If the project doesn't sell, we can refi. We can refi and we can pull the money out and pay you depending on where it appraises at that current time, right? Like, let's say we don't finish the project, but let's say we get halfway through at 85% or whatever. What it appraises for at that time, we can refi if it appraises at enough money to where we can refinance out of our we refinance out of our short-term fix and flip loan, right? So you're in a short-term fix and flip loan that is like a 12-month loan. Well, what I can do is refinance into a longer loan, and I can pull the money out and I can pay you off as my investor. That's one option. Another option is I can still refi out of that short-term flip loan into a longer loan, and then I can just have you on as a partner with me, and then it becomes a rental property.
Gotcha. Okay.
Right. So those are two things, usual conversations that I would have. Sometimes I have that conversation, but I try my best to invest in areas that I know are going to sell, right? That I know that I know that the time on market is less than 30 days or whatever the case. I mean, if it's a good deal, you can pretty much almost always get out of a deal at the right price, right? Yeah. I have a project right now that keep getting broken into. And instead of doing the high-end finishes that I wanted to do, I'm like, you know what? I'm getting rid of it. So we're going to finish out the project. We're going to do basic finishes. And instead of listing it for the 205 that it appraised for, I'm going to go ahead and list it at 180, get in, get out. That way I can pay off my investor. I'll still make a little bit of money, and I'm on to the next one, right? Because sometimes like you have that experience, and it's a matter of keeping your name clean, keeping your investors happy, and doing what you got to do. And this is real life, real talking business. Like sometimes you have to make decisions that, it wasn't a part of the original plan. But I know, again, that I'm in an area that, it'll appraise. It already has appraised. The room is there to make the money. But instead of going the plan A, I'm gonna go plan B and get rid of that sucker. Because I'm tired of it.
I hear that.
All right. Moving on.
Right.
All right. So, and you guys already know this. Just be an expert in your area. Whatever area it is that you're investing in, and I don't even care. It doesn't, and this is, it don't even have to be where you live, right? If some of you on here probably virtual wholesale, I'm sure. Well, if you're an expert in that area, wherever you virtual wholesale, and you want to start doing deals in that area because you are coming across some amazing wholesale deals that are just too good to sell, then, just know, again, be an expert in that area and know everything that's going on in that market in that area, because you can use that information to obviously sell it to your investor. All right. So where are we? We're at 6:43. Okay, cool. We're good on time. So this literally is just going to go through really quickly. I usually share this in my presentations because this is exactly what I share with my investors. This is a map of Chicago, north, east, south, and west. You have a zip code map and you have a neighborhood map. And I know Chicago, especially the south side, like the back of my hand. Chicago is huge. So like the north and the west, but the south side, all day. And that's where the numbers make more sense, right? You got $100,000 houses on the south side versus, $500,000 on the north side. So you guys kind of get, I'm sure you guys have areas where you live that are just like that. But I share this exact thing to my investors because, again, remember, most of my investors are out of state, for one, and for two, it just proves, that you got that extra layer of credibility. This is some information that I give them as far as like averages on single family homes that are on the south side. This is all like the south side of Chicago. Multi-units, same thing here, depending on what my project is. If it is a multi-unit property, then I show them what's going on with the other multi-units in the area. If it's a single family, I show them what's going on with other single families in the area. Okay. This right here. Okay, so this really quick is pretty much just saying that what I said already. I just said the secret sauce is in the work. It's going to be difficult to get someone to trust what you haven't already proven. If you currently have a project that you're working on, I highly suggest that you invite them over to take a look, right? If there's a contractor or another investor that you have that is working on the project that will allow you to use their project to have an event or to invite people over, whatever. Maybe it's the contractor that you're going to work with, right? And you don't have a property just yet. You don't have your first property. However, the contractor that you're going to work with is working on a property. And you're like, hey, can I invite some people by? I want them to take a look at your work. Because when you go over there, this is what our project will look like. Y'all get my drill?
Yep.
Cool. All right. And then start having a conversation with people now, right? So if you have a spreadsheet or a CRM or whatever, get their contact information. Start having, again, understand, know what those frequently asked questions are going to be, because when you start having conversations with people now, you can get their information. You can, some key takeaways from your discussion, and you can get their investment amount. And you can say, so what I did was I actually had a waiting list of investors. I had more investors than I had projects. But people were like, hey, I see what you're doing and I want to invest with you, right? I had the confidence and I had the answers to their questions. So I said, hey, I don't have a deal for you right now, but when I do have a deal, I'm going to call you up and we're going to talk about it. And then, you're going to invest $20,000 or whatever you're going to do. So go ahead and do that. The next thing is, this is actually my project management software that I use to update my investors. This is an actual real project that I did. And I had a $30,000 investor on this project who invested using his HELOC. He pulled the money out of his home and invested in this property with me. And he was able to receive automatic email updates with what was going on with the project. So think about it. You as an investor, wouldn't you love to get weekly email updates saying, hey, we're in demo this week, hey, we're framing, hey, we're doing plumbing, blah, 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 blah. Something like that just helps, right? Here's a current project that I have working on. Here are some of the numbers. Just going to kind of let you guys look at that. I'm pretty much wrapping up. So we can get started with the Q&A. The last couple of slides are just like current projects that I have. This one was a credit card investor. This deal actually slid in the DMs on Instagram, and hey, I'm telling you, check them DMs. It might be some money in there. Unfortunately, though, this is the one that keeps getting broken into. So again, I'm gonna make some money, but I'm just ready to get out. But hey, it was experience. It was this. It was that. It's a lesson, right? And to be honest, it's I hate to say it, but the lesson is, I probably shouldn't be investing in this area. But you try some areas out because you think they are ready for a change, and some aren't. But anyway, so it's a $30,000 credit card investor who is getting 10% return on her investment. And here's some. That's actually another project. Here's another one. So here's a buy and hold project. So this is a townhome, and this one is actually a rental. So, I talked about the whole fix and flip. You can get investors in your fix and flip projects. Well, guess what? If you want to do rental properties, you can bring in private investors for your rental properties too. So these are the exact numbers on this rental property where I have a buy and hold investor. And once I'm done with the rehab, I'm going to refinance out and pay the investor out. And then now I have a rental property that'll cash flow for as long as I keep it, using other people's money to buy it and renovate it. The last thing is that relationships matter, all of that. And and then the last slide is like my contact information. So we can go ahead and open it up for questions.
Well, put that up there too, so people can start taking that down. Definitely want to be able to make sure. Listen, guys, Rashauna has a wealth of knowledge. She's doing things that I don't do. So we're gonna open this thing up for Q&A. Let's stop sharing your screen, if you don't mind, Rashauna, and then I can.
You said stop it?
Yeah, just stop sharing your screen for a little bit, and we'll go back to that then. That way people have their hands up. Logan, you got your hand up. Go ahead, man. You are unmuted, or unmute yourself.
I'm sorry, can you hold on? Give me 1 second, literally.
Sure. All right, so while she's doing that, I don't know if she has a phone call or something like that, but while she's doing that, you guys have any questions for me I know she was on here killing it right now. Just giving you guys a whole wealth of information. Anybody have any questions? Logan, what were you about to go through?
I'm back.
Oh, never mind, you're back.
So Rashauna, you basically run like a turnkey operation for your investors?
For rentals?
No, for flips, kind of like they never like, I guess turnkey is just a term, but like they never get their hands dirty essentially.
Correct. It is a passive investment strategy. So the people who invest with me are usually all types of professions, right? They're not real estate investors. They have a desire to invest in real estate.
Okay. I actually just met a guy that does that in my market. He's like one of the top realtors here, and he has a contract with Lowe's. But I also had another question for you. Sorry. Would you let like one of us invest?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Don't discriminate against money, boy. I tell you that much. Yeah. You just got to meet the criteria, right, Rashauna?
Yeah, 10 grand.
Yep. There you go.
Gotcha.
So we're gonna
Credit or retirement account.
I'm gonna try because I want to be respectful to her time. I promised her she'd be she'd be done.
Listen, I got 18% left, so on my computer, so we can go until it dies. 17 now.
Well, I got to get off at 8, so I got to get off.
Okay.
At 8. Well, I can leave it on until you guys get done. But Ali,
Okay.
you got a question?
I do. Sean, first of all, appreciate you coming out and talking to us. This is an interesting topic. So I'm actually moved in. I've got one rental property. I'm looking at trying to get a second. Is there a way in there to be able to still invest with having two loans? Because the problem for me is I'm gonna have to convince the boss before I do anything. So with that said, how do I go about explaining, hey, this is the window we want to move, this is how we want to do it, that kind of thing? Because it seems like a lot of your knowledge is based off experience. So how would I get that experience if I'm not even, you know what I mean, like brand new in the game, if you will?
Okay, I'm sorry. So what's the dilemma is being able to convince?
So I'm moving. I've already got one rental property. I'm working on getting another townhouse, both in Baltimore.
Right.
When I do that, I still want to find a way to invest some extra money into something else, much like you're doing. But to do it, I've got to be able to explain it to the boss, because the boss can be like, all right, well, we got this automatically put her into a panic mode. So how does that work if you've already got like 2 rentals and you're actually paying the mortgage, all that great stuff?
Okay, so I think what you're saying is that there's a lack of like the capital? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I guess more or less, because if my credit is tied up in those 2 rentals. So I've got one, but I'm about to buy another one.
Let me just confirm. Is the boss your wife?
Yeah, yes.
Let
yes.
me just confirm. Okay, so how do you convince your wife? Huh?
I was a little confused about that too. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Okay, so how do you convince your wife that you guys can or should purchase more property?
Basically, how do I explain how we would go about doing that is the gist of it.
Okay, because she's going to say, honey, we don't have the money. Right. Okay, so if your strategy is to raise private capital, is that going to be your strategy after tonight's call?
It might be just trying to understand, so this way I can have that conversation.
Okay, so you have to come to her with the questions already answered. So if the question is, well, honey, how are we gonna finance this? Then you already have that answer, right? Meaning that if the raising private capital is gonna be your answer, then you start talking to people who you know may want to go in on some rental properties with you, right? Or somebody, maybe they don't have the cash, maybe they have the credit, maybe there's something that you can put together to, if the question is how are we going to finance this, how, then have those questions answered, for one. For two, you know, I don't know if you currently have your properties in your personal name or a business, but okay, so know that you can have up to 10 mortgages in your name, right? You can have up to 10 conventional loans. Now you're going to be putting 20% down on each one, but and you're going to have to be able to qualify, right? However, if you go ahead and you put it in an LLC, then they're just checking your credit. And like you said, if your credit is tied up, with your credit being low, because there's a difference between your credit being tied up and having a low credit score, right? Because your credit being tied up is when you're trying to get more credit. But if you're trying to get finance for a loan, it's different. And so maybe at that point too, that's when you're like, hey, honey, well, we'll start an LLC, or we'll put this property in an LLC. And literally you just have to have, I don't know, most company, I think it's like 660 maybe, or something like that, or maybe 640 for even some of the other companies to get approved of finance. But again, maybe bringing on a partner is something that you guys are going to need to do at that point in time. And again, looking into whatever additional resources you have or others that you know have. So whether it's somebody else's credit, somebody else's retirement account, somebody else's cash. I hope that helps.
That does. Thank you.
Also just explain the numbers too, Ali. Like when you explain it to your spouse, how are you going to pay for this? Obviously, you're going to do an investment that makes sense, right? So how are you going to pay for a mortgage? Well, hey, honey, the mortgage is, $3,500 a month for these units, and our return on investment is this, and this is what our cash flow is, and we're going to take the tenants' money. We're factoring in vacancies, we're factoring all these other things that we talk about in the course, right? You're really just showing the knowledge that you have. Like I've already taken all this into consideration. So if you come off confident with it, right, it's going to be because you've done the numbers and you didn't fudge the numbers to make them look good for yourself, right? These are real numbers. If you've done that, then you shouldn't have. At that point, it's a math problem. If you got 7,000 coming in and 3,500 going out, right? That's just a math problem.
Tracking.
All right.
Hello?
We got
Hello?
yeah, hold on one second here. Because we had some people that were patient and put their questions into the chat. Craig said, when you did your first deal, did you get the terms you wanted, even though you didn't have all the capital to put up? Try to, if you can. We got a lot of them in here.
Yes.
She said yes. The note is recorded with the county, Ramona asked.
Yes. At the title company. Not the promissory note, but the secondary mortgage if they want to record it. But a regular promissory note, nope. You just get signatures and you send the wire information.
They get a copy, you get a copy.
Yep.
All right. Is there an average of money requested per flip on the down payment and the cost for labor? Like, is the $50K for a $200,000 house, set up, security, equipment? Oh, yeah, that's something else. So what you're asking is basically, there's no set amount because every hard money lender is different. They're going to have different points. They're going to have different percentages. The amount is going to be different. So that's something that you'd have to find out with the hard money lender, or whoever you're getting your money from. If the break-in isn't on the south side, you might need a bazooka. Okay, that was a comment. Can you put up your contract info again, please?
My contact number.
Oh, contact info. Yeah, man, I can't read. So the buy and hold, you can't put the money to do a buy and hold, refinance the loan, and pay the investor. How does the lender let you do that when you tell them the ARV to get the first loan?
So the buy and hold, you can put the money to do and pay the investors. I think what you're saying. So when I bring in an investor, let's say for example the loan is like $100,000 loan, and in order to close on that $100,000 loan, I need to put $20,000 down, which is 20%, and I need to show another $10,000 for holding costs over the next 12 months. And again, holding costs are going to be like what are going to be my monthly payments on that loan and things like that. So in order for me to close on that $100,000 loan, the lender is going to say, hey, I need to see that you have $30,000 in the bank, because $20,000 is going towards your down payment, and $10,000 we need to see that you can make the payments on the loan. So what I do is I go and get a loan from my investor for $30,000. Now I'm at $130,000. So, and then, plus or minus like whatever fees. So now I'm at $130,000 in regards to what their investment is. However, once you know what the purchase and the rehab and the ARV is going to be, you need to have, and that's why I said, depending on whatever your market is, your numbers might be different. You need to have enough room built in there to where you're not
Even if you get a
right what you owe. Right, there needs to be money in there for you to do your renovations as well as turn a profit. Because again, at the end of the day, let's say the property doesn't sell. Let's say it's a $200,000 house, and I'm all in, or let's say it's a $250,000 house, and I'm all in it for $150,000. Well, I should have, obviously you have equity in there. So within that equity, you can refinance, you can pull the money out. And when you pull the money out, you're paying off the first investor and you're paying off your second investor, if that is something that you have to do. So you need to make sure that there's enough money in there to where you can refinance and you can do so. And if you have enough room, if you have enough equity, then you can also put some money in your pocket. Because let's say it's worth $250, you owe $150, and you can pull out $180. Well, since you owe $150 to the lender, to the first and second lender, you pay off $150 and $30,000 you can put in your pocket. So I hope that answers your question.
Bars. All right. Yeah. Let's go to. We got some people that have raised their hand. Yusef. I think he's the only person right here. Yeah, Yusef.
Hi, Rashauna. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. You brought the heat. Now, I don't know if you know those guys out of Philly, Greg Parker and those guys. You know anything about those guys?
I just follow him on social media.
Okay, yeah. So that here's the thing. I've been trying to figure out how they do what they do, and you just feel like a big gap for me tonight because I just cannot wrap my mind around how are they getting investors in. But anyway, that's another story. So I got a two-part question, super quick. So I'd like to know kind of the restrictions or the limitations on the wording that you can use when you're marketing for people for private capital. And the funds. So when the bank looks in your funds and your account for the funds that you're using for your deals and to get your loans, do they have to be seasoned?
No, they don't have to be seasoned. They just they want to see.
Explain what that means, seasoned, because some people don't know what that means.
So I don't know what the exact time frame is in order to be quote unquote seasoned, but pretty much it's just time. So I don't know if that's 6 months, 2 years.
I've always heard of 6 months. Yeah.
Okay, 6 months. Okay,
yeah.
So season is pretty much just time, right? And you'll hear that used interchangeably with just mortgages, loan amounts, things like that. So no, they just want to see your last month's bank statement. So let's say 30 days, right? But they want to see that bank statement says, whatever that minimum is that they need. Okay. Your first question was?
Regulations or restrictions you can use for your marketing. Yeah.
Absolutely. Great question. You do not want to use the word investors when you, first of all, in your contract, in the promissory note, it says lender. So you are working with private lenders. It is, hey, Tommy, can I borrow $5,000? Hey, Rashauna, here you go. Here's a loan for $5,000, period. Because when you start using the terminology of investors, now you are essentially selling securities, and there are SEC regulations around securities. Then you have to go in and set up a syndication and all of that stuff, which can cost anywhere from $15,000 upwards just for the legal paperwork alone. So my investors invest on a deal-by-deal basis. I am not a bank. I don't just raise all of this money and then go and find deals. I say, hey, Mr. Investor, I got this deal. It's $30,000. You in and you now. Okay, cool.
Thank you so much.
That's really important. That's really, really good information because you can get yourself in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, and I don't actively market either. So I market without marketing, right? So if you guys follow me on Instagram at Rashauna Scott, and you go through my stories today, I was going through all of my projects. Well, not all of them, but I was going through a couple of my projects. I literally went and I'm walking and I'm recording, doing video, and I'm showing you that, hey, I got investors on this project. I never once asked you to invest with me, right? But you'll see that, hey, she got investors on this project. So what's going to happen if you want to invest with me? You're going to slide in the DMs and you're going to say, how can I invest with you? Right? So I market without marketing.
There you go. That's smart. Really smart. Can you go put your, share your screen again with your information? Because I want to make sure everybody gets to see your info.
And yeah, so so this is me, Rashauna Scott, as well as Flipping in Heels for my community of women investors. If you guys just want to connect with me, you can find me on Instagram. That is where I pretty much live. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Twitter, but at Rashauna Scott on every platform, but Instagram is mainly where I am. And then Flipping in Heels as well. Got some great things coming up. So if you guys just want to follow along, that'd be great. When I can get my life together, I'm gonna come out with these little t-shirts. See, this is my little logo here. It says Titles and Deeds, my only hope.
So tell us real quick, because you're doing some things that that, like I said, I don't do. I have people that have let me borrow money, and I've kind of used it for myself.
Mm-hmm.
So you're doing it on a bigger scale. Do you have something where you're helping people that were you like an opportunity for mentorship or anything like that for people? Because I know a lot of people always ask me, hey, can you show me this? And I can honestly, I'm running out of time, y'all. I got people that are always asking me, can I do a mentorship? And I don't have enough time in the day. Do you have anything like that available?
Yeah. So I have a monthly mentorship that is coming up very soon. So that will be posted online as well. The other thing, I am always traveling. And I'm always doing an event. Like literally, I was just in Little Rock, Arkansas. Before September is out, I'll be in LA and I'll be in Lafayette, Louisiana. Before the end of the year is out, I'm doing an event in Philly. I'm speaking in, I think, Louisville, Kentucky. And like, I'm always traveling, doing something. Oh, I think I'll be in Atlanta in October. I meant to hit you up about that too, Tommy.
Oh, see?
I know.
If I would have found out you would have been here, I would have been upset, man.
No, you listen.
I would have erased this call. I would have erased it.
But anyway, I say all that to say that get out here, go to these events, meet people. If I'm in your city, I would love to meet you. Connect. That is how you're going to grow. But yeah, my mentorship program is also coming up. We had some technical difficulties, so as soon as I can get all these systems set up. But yeah, that's it. Oh, and then I have a very big conference that I'm planning next year. You guys are actually the first to really know on this scale. The only people who know are literally a part of my planning team. But I'm planning a big event in DC in May, top of May. And it will heavily be on real estate investing. So Tommy's gonna be a speaker. He don't know it yet, but Tommy just found out. It's gonna be about 40 speakers, about 500 investors there. We're gonna have business credit there where you guys can get funding literally on the spot, lenders, all of that good stuff, cash buyers, all of that. So that was the big plug. But anyway, anything you guys need, just let me know. Like I said, I am gonna send that promissory note over to Tommy. I'll send him over a blank one. If you guys want it, you can get it from him. I hope tonight was helpful. Let's see if there's any more questions.
Look like your Mac about to die too. So
you're right. Well, I'm at 5%. Cool.
Yeah, I'm late to my dinner again. Of course. For this whole wedding weekend, I've been late.
What's for dinner?
They're going to hibachi, which I don't know how much I can eat a hibachi because I don't eat meat.
See, you can be late.
Yeah. All right. Well, everybody, man, once again, Rashauna, thank you so much. You were fantastic, as I knew you would be. I really appreciate you dropping all those gems. It's really, really awesome to get definitely a different perspective. And like I said, she knows things that I don't even know that I don't know yet. So, when it comes to raising private capital and real estate investing, I want to bring value. I want to add value. This is not for me, right? This is for our community. So this is not about the Tommy show. This is about how can we make ourselves better all around. So Once again, love you guys. Appreciate you, Rashauna. Thank you so much. And you guys have a
Thanks so much for having me. You guys have a good night.
good night.